Enjoy a narrated virtual tour of the observation aircraft exhibited at the National Museum of the United States Air Force. See photos and videos that cover a range of aircraft starting with the Douglas O-38 through the North American Rockwell OV-10A Bronco. The museum is free to visit and located on the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Southwest Ohio. The Douglas O-38F was the last biplane observation aircraft, ending a line that began in the early 1920s. Its cruising speed was only 128 miles per hour, making it obsolete by the end of the 1930s. This aircraft crashed and was abandoned in the Alaskan wilderness until the museum arranged for its recovery, with only the wings requiring extensive restoration. The consolidated OA-10 Catalina was the U.S. Army Air Force version of the PBY series flown extensively by the U.S. Navy during World War II. It primarily performed air-sea rescue work with emergency rescue squadrons throughout World War II and for several years thereafter. It is painted as a Catalina assigned to the 2nd Emergency Rescue Squadron in the Pacific Theater during World War II. After World War II, the Air Force acquired 8 surplus Navy Grumman J-2 F-6s for overwater air rescue service missions. Designated OA-12 Ducks, 5 went to Alaska for duty with the 10th Air Rescue Squadron. This aircraft is painted to represent one of those air rescue ducks. In 1934, North American Aviation developed the O-47 to replace the O-19 and O-38 observation biplanes. Training maneuvers in 1941 demonstrated the O-47's shortcomings, relegating it to towing targets or to flying coastal and anti-submarine patrols. This aircraft has the markings of an O-47A of the 112th Observation Squadron of the Ohio National Guard. This Piper J-3 Cub represents the contributions of the Civil Air Patrol to the U.S. Air Force. During World War II, Civil Air Patrol members flying their personal aircraft such as the J-3, hunted for enemy submarines along the coasts, reported damaged ships, towed aerial targets, and delivered high-priority vital war materials. It is painted in the widely known Piper Cub yellow. In 1940, the U.S. Army Air Corps ordered the Curtiss O-52 for observation duties and used them for military maneuvers within the continental United States. Since it lacked the performance necessary for combat operations, it was relegated to stateside courier duties and short-range submarine patrols off the U.S. coast. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor, the Army Air Force canceled the O designation and adopted L for the Liaison-type airplanes that replaced it. During the Korean War, airborne forward air controllers chose the North American T-6 Texan as the best available aircraft because it could operate from small, rough airstrips and was easy to maintain. Other benefits were that it was faster and more rugged than the light Liaison aircraft they initially flew. The T-6D on display flew as a forward air controller, or Mosquito, during the first 2 years of the Korean War. Grumman's HU-16B Albatross started as a naval amphibious utility aircraft which could also operate from snow and ice with skis. During the Korean War, Albatrosses rescued almost 1,000 United Nations personnel from coastal waters and rivers, often behind enemy lines. The Air Force procured them, mostly for the Air Rescue Service. The HU-16 on display was one of the last operational Air Force Albatrosses. The O-1G Bird Dog was an observation and liaison aircraft developed from the commercial Cessna Model 170. It served as a forward air control aircraft in Southeast Asia. Its slow speed left it vulnerable to enemy small arms fire, its small size limited the amount of ordnance and radios it could carry, and it could not operate effectively in bad weather or at night. It was replaced by the O-2 Skymaster and the OV-10 Bronco. The Cessna O-2A Skymaster was a military variant of the Cessna Model 337 Super Skymaster. It was procured to replace the O-1 Bird Dog, then operating in Southeast Asia as a forward air control aircraft. It featured a tractor-pusher propeller arrangement enabling it to absorb more ground fire and still return safely. The Skymaster on display was assigned to the 20th Tactical Air Support Squadron at Da Nang, South Vietnam in the late 1960s. The Air Force acquired the North American Rockwell OV-10A Bronco primarily as a forward air control aircraft. It was faster than the Skymaster and able to climb out of a dangerous situation quickly. The Bronco carried 7.62mm machine guns and rocket pods for attacking small enemy units. It could carry a range of other weapons, making it suitable for providing light strike support. The aircraft on display is painted as it appeared when it served in Southeast Asia. I hope you enjoyed this narrated virtual tour of observation aircraft exhibited at the Air Force Museum. If you would like to tour other aircraft in this series, convenient links are found in the description section below this video. Here are YouTube suggested links on a similar topic that you may enjoy viewing.